Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Barn on 11970. Thank you for viewing my channel, and I hope you guys are having a good day. All right, guys. I want to get a little bit more into the gold and silver because I see there are so many people now talking about how, silver's going to just drop and it's going to, fall to the floor and see $10 or $15 silver, and I hear people talking about gold going down to $1,000. So I'm going to show you an article that will hopefully put some confidence in people. Now, I know there are people out there that'll talk about, well, there's specific numbers about how much silver is out there, how much gold is out there. Well, let me ask you something. When you see that governments rig things like, how many people are unemployed and all these specific numbers that they finagle, you really want to trust their exact numbers as that's how much they exactly have? Do we really want to trust those people? I would suggest otherwise. Unless you think government people and the banks and all these people are thoroughly honest, then you should trust their word. So I really think they're kind of doing the old cooking of the books. So if you want to believe how many millions of ounces of gold is really out there and how many millions of ounces of silver is out there, that's absolutely fine. But, in the real world where politicians seem to be very corrupt and banks are also the same, I really wouldn't trust any numbers that they put out. So that doesn't mean I'm right, but we can't really just believe everything that we hear. So I'm going to read this article, but the first thing is I want to talk about, because I actually bought a little gold. Unfortunately, I don't make a lot of money, so I can't buy a lot, but this is what I got. This is a quarter-ounce gold eagle I just got in the mail today, and I bought it when there was that little dip of gold when I was telling people about it. It took about 2.5 weeks to get this gold coin, and it was supposed to be a random year. And they gave me, as you see, a 1986, which is the first year that they produced the Gold Eagles. So I'm actually very happy that they did that. I thought, it was one of those things where you get it at their choice of which year. I thought it would be somewhere in the middle where it was one of those years when they made tons of them. But to get the first year issue of the coin, I'm very happy about that. So that made my day. But let's start reading this article, and it talks about central banks buying gold. So and of course, I will post the link so you can check this out yourself. This is titled Outlook for Central Bank Gold Buying Promising. The outlook for central bank gold buying looks promising after another month of net buying in December. Macquarie Bank said. Not only are central bankers in the developed world now holding on to their reserves, but developing nations with large forex reserves are adding to theirs, the bank said in a note on Tuesday. IMF data released on Monday showed gross purchases of 22 tons and sales of just 0.3 tons, or tones. Still, this may understate the true total. Many central banks do not report data in the IMF in a timely fashion or at all. What a surprise. And other government institutions which buy gold, such as sovereign wealth funds, do not need to report to their IMF. In December, Russia raised its reported holdings 2.1% to 957.8 tons. I'm not sure which it is, so forgive me on that one. Taking its 2012 increase to 8.5%. Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan, that would be a funny one. Kazakhstan added 1.7% in December. Only the central banks of Sri Lanka and Germany sold sizable amounts, with the latter doing so to fund a long-running coin campaign. Central banks are now net buyers of gold, which completes a remarkable swing in the market supply and demand balance compared with the late 1990s and early 2000s, when they were net sellers of 400 to 500 tons per year. All right, so you can read the rest if you want. This is what I'm going to tell you. If you want to listen to people who are, they could be researching, I don't know. I only watch a select few people. If you want to believe those people, that's your option. You absolutely can do that. I, on the other hand, am going to listen to what countries are doing. And let's put it in the proper perspective. If there was a dip coming, like there are some people saying there is, if you were a country, would you be a buyer at this point? or would you be a seller? Or at the very least, would you hold off on buying? Because if you all know that governments and the people who run them get the inside information that we will never get, and they get the accurate information. So if they knew in the next coming weeks there was going to be a huge dip in gold, well, they would all hold off on buying. But they're all buying now, and they're buying in larger amounts than normal. And as a matter of fact, not only are they buying, they're selling less. So what does that suggest to me? Well, that suggests that the inside information that they're getting is that prices will be going up. So might as well buy when it's at its cheaper prices. So you have to think about that. I understand, and believe me, as a net buyer of gold and silver, not much, this is a quarter of an ounce. I'm not gonna retire off that. But somebody like myself and others who stack gold and silver would love to see $10 silver again. Trust me on this. If that day ever came, I would be ecstatic. It's not going to hurt me because nobody in this rational world would ever think it would stay that way, even if it happened. I'd give it a day. As a matter of fact, you'd probably be hard pressed to find it because no one would be selling. So it wouldn't stay that way. But it's just not going to happen. If countries right now are selling less gold and buying up more, and they're holding it, that should tell you all you need to know. Now, if you follow the history of gold and silver, they tend to follow themselves. It's off a little bit here and there, but generally they kind of follow each other in these kind of patterns. And as a matter of fact, as you see right now, let's give a couple of the prices of the metals as I speak. It is 1:50 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Let's see, and the euro's going up, which means the dollar is losing its value. Right now, the euro's at 1.34, almost up to 1.35 against the dollar. So that's telling you something that you really need to be concerned about. But right now, gold is up roughly almost $4, at 16.68. Silver had a nice recovery this morning, up 50 cents. Right now, it's up currently 5 cents from the earlier this morning. Platinum, $7 up at around 1691, closing in on 1700 again. And I'm loving palladium. Right now, palladium's at 755. And I actually have the news unit to thank for that. He gave a couple of recommendations on palladium. It's the only metal I didn't have any of. And I actually bought a 1-ounce palladium bar when palladium was at 696. So right now, in the span of about 2.5 weeks, it's almost gone up roughly about $60, give or take. That's nice for me. But you should really stop and think about this, guys. I know people want to hear what's popular. I know people want to join on a bandwagon and get on it. I know there are certain people out there that make very controversial and exciting videos, and they say what you want to hear. But I'm not here to become popular. I'm not here to say what everybody wants me to say. I'm going to tell you my perspective, and I'm going to trust in what countries are doing, not with what a couple of minor players are doing, because that's basically what they are, including myself. I'm a very minor player when it comes to this. So I'm going to follow my advice from people that really know what they're talking about and people that spend lots of money in this. And if countries are telling me that they are buying gold and they are continuing to buy gold, that tells me that there will not be any price dips anytime soon. Not anything significant anyway. So, like I say, guys, if you want to go with what's popular, that's fine. Enjoy it. Have a great time. Watch entertaining videos, and you'll be very happy. If you want to actually listen to what's going on in the real world, which is what countries are doing, then you'll really get a better perspective. So I leave that up to you. People want to hear my advice, that's what I'm going to give. Doesn't mean I'm right, but you know what? We all have to do what we all have to do. And I have to do this. And I also have to say goodnight because it's getting late and I have to get up and get my brakes on my car fixed. So without further ado, have a good night and leave a message after the tone. Peace.